Right, onwards to Celtic Park, Celtic 2, Hibs 0. Focusing on Celtic, first of all, Michael. I mean, they were at it from the off, weren't they, creating chances? And when they're like this, they are so tough to handle.
Yeah. I mean, it was no great surprise that it was very much in the same vein as when Aberdeen got a 2-2 draw against them in the league.
Yeah.
No long after that, they absolutely demolished them in the semi-final of the Premier Sports Cup. So you got a sense that that's what Celtic were looking to do again. And credit to Hibs because they held in.
They did.
They didn't offer a great deal in an attacking sense, but they certainly limited Celtic to longer strikes. They didn't cut Hibs open as often, but they were certainly, full of tempo and desire to go and win the game.
Jordan Smith had to play really well.
He was good.
I'll come back to that. But Alan, as I said, and maybe Michael's absolutely spot on there, when you've had a negative result against the team, you want to go and make a little statement, don't you? And it looked like right from the off. I know that was a chance.
That would have been
controversial.
Very, very interesting if that went in.
Yeah,
I mean, it's over 10 yards. They effectively go and take the shy beyond where Carter Vickers has jogged back to. So,
do you think that went in? What do you think would have happened there?
I don't know if VAR could get involved in it. That's the interesting thing.
Well, they could have, I'm sure, because it was a goal, but I'm not sure the absolute minutiae detail of a throw-in. But anyway, it's a good question. Probably just as well he didn't score because it would have been more VAR chaos.
Yeah, it would have been chaos. I mean, that's Maeda all over. He's so electric, never stops, and it was a crucial goal to score that just before half time, because Hibs would have been eyeing up half time 0-0 and thinking, right, that's the first part of the job done. So
I mean, it should have really been a lot more, really. I mean, I think defensively, David Gray spoke about it. I thought they did look good, and even though there's been a lot of chances, I think Jordan Smith done really well in terms of keeping the ball out the net. I know they did score 2, but I think they did look all right. They just have to be more of a threat, and I know it's difficult. Like going to Celtic Park, it's not easy to go there and defend like you do and try and carry a threat at the same time, but Celtic, you could just tell they wanted it. They really wanted to go and score a number of goals, and when they're in that strong team, when they're really kind of flowing, it's very difficult to slow them down. So, I think they deserved the victory, and Hibs, it's just one of them. It was always going to be difficult for them.
Yeah, a question, if you like, there about Maeda, who I think a few weeks ago, was it Stacey Devlin had sent a question in asking Player of the Year candidate, and we obviously spoke about that quite early. We all agreed he had to be, and all he's done since then, Michael, since we had that conversation, is keep on scoring and getting in the right places. He was fantastic in Europe well.
I've got a wee superlative there. Wunderbar.
This guy, honestly, I've had enough of it already.
Me too. He's so smart.
See Maeda, you cannot switch off.
No.
He's actually just, not that he would need you to switch off, because he's so sharp off the mark and his movement's that good that it's always going to be difficult. But I mean, he's just went to the next level. I think with his finishing being so good now, it's actually taken him to the next level.
As a defender, Al, I'm assuming he's the kind of guy ahead of a game, right? Ahead of a game, you're having nightmares because you have to be right on it.
Yeah, well, we know when it comes to Rangers, he's giving people nightmares anyway. So, I mean, he's definitely that guy that before like an Old Firm game, you'd be sitting going, I know I'm in for a tough task tomorrow. I need to be on point if I want to try and stop him. But even now that he can move and play inside and play as a number 9, and you've got Jota and Kuhn with the pace also, it just gives you a whole nother dynamic. So you just can't switch off, and his movement, everything is top quality. So look, it's going to be difficult to slow him down.
I thought a few weeks ago maybe the only Celtic player that might get kind of close in the kind of Player of the Year running would be Callum McGregor, because he's had some phenomenal goals this season. Again, the consistency is remarkable. But just the way Maeda's kicked on since then, Michael, he's the clear candidate, isn't he, to win the awards?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think anybody else will come close because he's timed his run of form perfectly, and it's just been it's been a very interesting rise in terms of the level and the standard of the quality that he's brought, because everybody recognised, we all saw it, we all could see it. It was staring us in the face in terms of his work ethic, his pace. But at times, it was lacking an end product. So, you'd get into great areas and he would balloon it over the bar. He
was a wee bit erratic, wasn't he?
Yeah, whereas now that doesn't happen. The end product is unbelievable. Soft touch, great, great footwork and finishing, left foot, right foot, head. I mean, he's developed into the complete striker or wide man. So he's added so much to his game because obviously when he came to Celtic, there was chat that he played through the middle for Japan. Yeah. And at times you'd look at that and go, I'm not sure he's technically good enough to play through the middle. Whereas you see him now and you go, 100%, brilliant.
Yeah, he's got a bit of everything at the moment. Celtic obviously on course for a phenomenal end to the season. Big games to come quite clearly, but what a season it's looking for Brendan Rodgers and his team. Like, Al, don't worry, I'm not going to come to you on that. But I will come to you on Hibs, Alan, because they took 7,000 fans. They were noisy the whole day. You can tell the enthusiasm that continues to be around the club. It is a first defeat in 16 games. We've all said they hung in the contest maybe a couple of months ago, or maybe slightly further back than that. They'd have been blown away in the early stages of that game, but they hung in. The goalkeeper made good saves. Now it's just refocusing because another team who've got a great opportunity to finish this season strongly and claim third place.
Yeah, well, what is it? Is it Kilmarnock away next?
I think so, yeah.
I think it is. Look, that'll be a difficult game, but I think they're in a good moment, even though they've been beat by Celtic. You rightly said the run that they've been on has been quite incredible. They've went from strength to strength. And yeah, if you go back to like when we done the Dundee Hibs game, I mean, that was kind of rock bottom for them, what it felt like. Like that was, the manager was either going to leave or something was going to change, and it did. And like I said, they're looking so strong now. The momentum's with them. I feel they're good enough to finish like in third place.
Yeah,
but they do need to refocus. But the big thing for me is Cadden.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. There was such a moment in the game, actually, because the contest still in the balance at that point, Michael, and it just felt, as I was watching on, losing him, not just on the day, the impact on the game, but moving forwards. I know you'd mentioned in commentary, it might be a bad one, it might be a tear or something. But if it is, and he's out for a while, then he's another really difficult player to replace, given what he does defensively, but going forwards.
That could derail and jeopardise them finishing third. It's that big a blow, I think. It really is dependent on how long he's out for. Because he just brings so much to the team, as you quite rightly said there. Defensively, he's a grafter. The amount of times he gets back in and fills round brilliantly. But, I mean, equally, or probably more importantly, it's that threat going forward. And, look, Christ, I go on about it enough in terms of hitting the byline, getting penetration in behind teams.
Loves that byline.
Do you?
His ability to play good early balls and
half a yard, bang.
Because, and here's the thing, the reason he doesn't have to get past and penetrate the team is because his delivery gets into those areas. He's not putting balls in where it's still in front of the defenders. He whips balls in and the defenders are still having to turn and face their own goal. So it's not many people that are able to do that, and he does it consistently. I mean, his
deliveries against Hearts was outstanding. Yeah. And how do you replace that? See if he is out for a month. Like how do you replace it? Because not everything. A lot that's good comes from that side. Yeah. And I'm not taking it away from anybody else. Everybody else does their part. But I just think when they switch the ball over to him, for a fact the delivery is going to be good.
Yeah. They're a well-disciplined team right now. Let's see if they can obviously cope without him and obviously get more news on the injury as well, probably ahead of that game against Kilmarnock. Jordan Smith in goal. I know I briefly mentioned it. Michael, he made mistakes earlier this season. You obviously, pointed this out a few different times, saying that that's a department of the team they have to improve. I think there was talk recently, maybe just newspaper talk, about giving him a new contract.
But
whatever they've done,
it just signed one.
There you go.
On Friday.
Well, there you go. The contract's been signed, and it shows you what they must think of him internally in the club. But also the work. Fair enough, the work that he's put in, Michael, and he's not allowed the mistakes to kind of derail his season. A lot of credit goes to the player.
Absolutely. I mean, look, he got an opportunity and almost threw it away in the first game. His opportunity against Aberdeen, but he, credit to the manager, he stuck by him as well, and he's grown. He's grown in stature. I mean, he's never really had. Well, well, it's not speculating. He has never had this run of games that he's got now is the longest run of games that he's had, starting. So he's never been in this position before. I do still think that they will be looking to recruit a goalkeeper in the summer. I do. But what they've got now is that they've got somebody that they obviously feel comfortable and confident that they can trust if they want to, have him as a number one, or if he's going to be a number two and plays, many games if the number one that comes in gets injured or whatever. They've got somebody that they can genuinely feel that they can trust now. But I do, as I said, I do think they'll still look to recruit a goalkeeper in the summer.